This Monday Night Football props and NFL Week 11 recap edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign with promo code SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Hey, this is Derek Stevens. I'm the owner of Circa Las Vegas. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Crushing end to the lock streak, Sean. Crushing end.
Unfortunately, not great for your locks. But Ryan, even though, and let's see, what did you do in your locks? You went 0-2. Unfortunately,
Did get a nice juicy Steelers money line.
but even though you went 0-2 in your locks, we still went 3-2 in the circuit contest, which was very good outcome there. Shout out to the Chiefs for being losers, blowing that game. I had a great week gambling. Hit a bunch. We both hit Will Dissly first touchdown, 21-1.
That was
I hit
nice.
the Steelers. I hit the Colts on the money line. And then that Chargers, I had a nice play on the Chargers at the end of the day. That was crazy, Sweat. And actually, let's see if we can get him on the line. He went to the game, Ryan. He's hanging out. I would love to get his thoughts.
Do we have him?
We have him.
Oh, all right. Let's
add him on here. There he is, calling in live from SoFi Stadium. The number one Chargers super fan, Justin Decker. What's happening, Decker?
Oh wow! I see myself on the screen. My wife has a spotlight in my eye. We're waiting for an Uber. Great
Okay.
win. by
You
the
look
way.
beautiful. You look beautiful.
Can I just say?
Yeah.
Can I just say I've never been to a football game. I've only been to a Chargers home football games. Never been to any other stadium, so I have nothing to compare it to. But this is the most percentage of Charger fans that I've ever been to. It was probably about 75%, and it was loud. I'm not just saying that. Like it was loud. Very stoked about it. Very stoked about the turnout.
Part of my handicap. Yeah, good to see you, Decker. Part of my handicap was that hey, this Chargers team, they have a home field advantage right now. Like they have some mojo going. I mean, wild. It was wild. There were people saying, "Oh no, the Chargers, they're chargering again."
I was wondering if Staley was in the building,
Yeah,
Decker.
it has to be Brandon Staley.
You know what's weird is it never felt like the Jaguars playoff game. You have to understand they were playing a desperate team. When they went for it on 4th and 2 on that deep pass to Higgins, it's like, you know what? This is going to be a shootout. It's just going to be one of those games. And Harbaugh just didn't. It never felt like the Jaguars game. We grinded it out, and we're still trying on offense.
Yeah. No, it was wild. And cousin Mush checking in, trying to spread his mushness onto you, saying, "Oh, hey, thoughts and prayers for Decker at the game." And then Decker, when the game
prayers.
ended,
We got Harbaugh.
Oh man,
you got put them together.
You got to be feeling great though, Decker, because now it feels like you got a football team. Now you have a real coach, you got a franchise quarterback, you have home field advantage. How are you feeling about the Chargers going the rest of the season? It almost feels like you're playing with house money right now.
I mean, I feel so. I don't know what the chances are to make the playoffs, but it's probably like 99% because we play the Ravens next week. That's going to be big. Because they went into Pittsburgh and got banged up.
Yeah.
That's going to be the battle next Monday for the first wild card position. I don't know if we can catch the Chiefs because we're going to need to win in Kansas City, and then we're going to need some luck. But this is like one of the it may be a top 5 team in the NFL. Is that crazy to say?
No, I think they're right on that edge.
Detroit and the Eagles in the NFC,
Yeah.
But then,
you,
Bills, Chiefs, and Chargers, I think they're right there.
yeah, I mean it's where you have the Ravens, the Steelers, but certainly a top.
No one is going to want to play this team because they're going to have the Chargers are going to come to your house. They're going to play one of these division winners. No one wants to play the Chargers in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah,
no.
And this was the most points they've given up this season, 27. And I think the Bengals had to convert like 3 4th downs. Like they were in a desperate. They played well in the second half, but it's just great call on the Disley pick. By the way, I always love that. I think we won like a few Disley.
Yeah,
props.
He's a first touchdown god. So hit on the Disley receiving yards ladder. That's why you tune into the prop show. Decker, were you nervous at all? Was there ever a point? Because as a guy who bet on the Chargers, I was certainly nervous.
Sean had quit on the team.
No, well, I was like, I mean, when
you know what, Decker, he said things that he would have never said if you were in the house.
Well, CJ was there, and CJ was rooting for the Bengals. So I was trying to reverse jinx it by saying, "Oh, Chargers are gonna blow this. Oh, the game's already over."
I was nervous after the Herbert fumble. That was only his 3rd turnover of the year, and his knee was almost down. I was like, it's just one of those games where we missed out on an interception. The Bengals played well. It was not like the Jacksonville game, dude. It was just a different feeling. Like I got nervous after the fumble, but I just feel like the crowd felt it too. Like, we don't lose these games now. Yeah, I don't know. No, it was weird. It
was a turning of a new page in Chargers history. I don't think it's crazy to say that, Chris.
Well, I've mentioned this, but the gas station convenience store that sells the sporting goods stuff across from our place, Sean.
Yeah.
Proudly sells Chargers gear now. So officially,
Chargers flags.
They're now LA. They're one of LA's teams now. That's amazing.
Decker.
Yeah,
can we get you to get a little,
please.
we got, I mean, big win. We got to hear the song. I know the audience. I speak for the audience.
I'll get it, dude. We're coming your way. We're going to dazzle you with our play. The time has come. We're going to be number one. Thunderbolts and lightning. Yeah. We'll light up the sky. Yeah. Sing it, Mimi. Chargers, all you got and more. Yeah, baby. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Stoked.
Good to see you, Decker.
An Uber. Parking is horrible at this stadium.
Oh yeah,
they have not figured it out yet. It is insane.
It's bad.
Don't park at SoFi. Big takeaway.
Yeah, dude. Literally, dude. It's fucking horrible. But stoked. Other than that.
All right, awesome. Decker. Great to hear from you, Decker. Congrats on the win.
Go Chargers.
Let it ride, man. Good to see you, Mimi, for 2 seconds there. Wow, what a win! Electric environment. Ryan, I'm hearing the Discord said they're having an issue with the audio.
So. Oh wow, well, that's shocking. Discord.
Yeah, just so we could, if people do want to call in, put someone in a locker. I mean,
which one of these narcs is reporting this bullshit? Yeah, unfortunately, Discord. They must have new corporate overlords.
Yeah,
things have really.
They're always poking around on Discord. I mean, just nice day for me. Bunch of cash in the pocket. The Disley touchdowns, or Disley first touchdown. The Disley ladder was huge.
Do you feel worth pulling back the curtain and telling people that you were using a calculator right before the show?
Yeah, I had all my printed tickets from the Circa. I went 5-2 on my big NFL bets, including Colts money line. I was calculating the exact amount I was going to get back.
Yeah, no, I'm just highlighting the tout. It wasn't meant to make fun of your math skills.
I wasn't going to bring up that I had to bring out a calculator to put together how many winning tickets. The only thing that went in the shredder was Browns and then Chiefs and then some of the crazy parlay stuff, but good week again. 3-2 for the contest. Ryan, we're on a nice little run for the Circa Million. I know it broke across the quarter, but we're on a what do we got, 16-9 last 25 games in the Circa Million. That's pretty good.
Tonight's result was pretty big for the Circa Millions. In terms of tilting it probably towards like a 2.5 point average week. So staying afloat.
Ryan, big game. I mean, there was some crazy kicking going on in the league. No, missed field goals, blocked field goals. It really was a weird and super long field goals as well. Like it was kind of crazy. A man who benefited, Ryan, from a blocked field goal walk-off victory for the Green Bay Packers. Didn't get the cover, but did get the win. The Packers streak of owning the Bears continues, but not ATS. Dick Puncher, you're on the line. How are you feeling after that win?
Go Pack, go, go Pack, go, go Pack, go. Let's fucking go, boys. Still own the Bears. We still own them. Let's go.
Let me.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say it's good that we have Dick Puncher because I know he's been lonely without Mike Evans for a little while. I have an idea for you, Dick Puncher. Yeah, because Mike Evans anytime touchdown. It was a.
It's on
if you're about to give me interception,
it was an ATM. It was a money printing machine, and now we've run into a similar situation with one Jordan Love. And this guy, he just can't help himself, Sean.
The Jordan Love interception prop
real
has been a money printing machine. Dick Puncher, did you play Jordan Love interceptions today?
I did not. Let me say though, this was a categorically different interception than the previous ones.
Okay,
like the previous ones, the decision making on the throw, in those games, right? He's have great throw, and then it's complete misfire where it's that was a bad decision. That was just bad throw. This one, the execution on the throw wasn't good. He overthrew his guy, but it wasn't a complete well, I'm just on the run and I'm just doing something stupid here. That wasn't a stupid thing. He just overthrew the guy a little.
I love this.
It wasn't as bad. It wasn't.
I
really
love the soccer mom element to the Packer fans and Jordan Love.
Now, Dick Puncher, walk us through what's going through your mind as the Bears line up for what they thought would be a game-winning field goal. You couldn't have thought you were going to win then.
I was standing in front of the TV. My girlfriend's on her laptop, talking with one of her friends or something. I've been cursing through the roof the whole game. I mean, I'm embarrassed of what they must have heard on the other end of that phone. But when they were lining up for the kick, I was saying okay, I was all right, they have screwed up these type of kicks before.
Yeah.
They've had a double doink. They this.
Yes.
And it's winners win, losers lose. It's possible. It's possible. That was what I just kept. Frankly, I just kept saying that it's possible. It's possible. And when that happened, I didn't even know. I don't know how clearly you guys were able to see it, from the first take on the screen, but I couldn't even really tell what happened. I was like, wait, where the hell is the ball? And then when I saw, I didn't even really see it. I just heard them say it was blocked, and I was like, I just started flipping out. I was jumping up and down. Oh my god, it was unbelievable.
No,
unbelievable.
I mean, watching it live, it was. I didn't really care because 5.5 was good either way, but
yeah,
it got blocked, but it was going straight and it was going forward. So honestly, my first thought was oh my God, that's in. And then I see the reaction and then I see the ball fall at the 10-yard line or whatever. And I'm like, holy shit, they blocked it, because watching it live, it blocked, but it still carried pretty good.
You could hear it.
Yeah.
But also he had made a kick earlier in the game that was extremely low. And so it put same thing. I didn't exactly go right to Packers won the game.
Well,
I did not think
this brings me to Eberflus. Well, that coaching at the end of that game was insane by him. They had 40 something seconds left and a timeout, and it was first down, or it was either first or second, and they had more downs. At least try and like gain a couple yards. Did they even ask the kicker which hash he wanted the ball on? Like,
no. And then according to what came out of the post game was that the Packers said they had tracked the Cairo Santos trajectory of his kicks, and it was really low, and they worked up a special block plan for it. I mean, that's something you only say after you block it, but still, clearly Eberflus is a horrible head coach, and I think you wasted a great performance from Caleb Williams, who was using his legs, throwing the ball well. I really think that was kind of one of Caleb Williams' better games off the top of my head.
Does he get fired?
I mean, I don't know why they didn't reset at the head coach when you're bringing in a franchise guy like Caleb Williams, or at least someone obviously you think is going to be a franchise guy. That would have been a perfect time to reset for me, because Eberflus clearly not going to be the guy long term. Like, you almost fired him before you got Caleb Williams. I don't know why you would have let him go in this transition era. It just made no sense. Even as an outside observer, I don't give a shit if the Bears or Packers, like, I got no take on it. Just as a gambler, it made no sense to keep Eberflus.
If you're going to reset, you got to reset all the way. These teams, when you're out of sync with the GM and the coach, things just get weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was insane. Also, real quick, I want to, for Bears fans, I want to shove Shane Waldron in a locker, because clearly that guy was holding them back. Like, I mean, he is the biggest bump, because Caleb looked very good today. Like, he looked they finally figured out how to use this guy without him like running around there looking like a contestant on Survivor Lambeau Field Edition, right? Like, nice. he was so much better than he was the whole rest of the year. And like, part of that was a little bit, the Packers were clearly giving him all the short stuff. Like, oh, if you want short and easy or quick runs, like, we'll give you that. But I mean, he was doing it effectively, and he was going down the field. And frankly, if it wasn't for penalties, they would have had more points. So Waldron must just be colossally off.
And I thought the Packers had a couple questionable plays. I mean, I'm all for being aggressive, but they went for it on 4th and goal at like the 7-yard line. Love almost got it in. That was kind of crazy too. I mean, I get it. You don't want to settle for a field goal there, but like odds wise, you're really pushing it by trying to go for it there. So Packers, I think, kind of fortunate to get the win, and the Bears continue to be snake bitten. I mean, to lose a game with a blocked field goal, very makeable, and then also lose a game on a Hail Mary, Bears fans have to be just in dire straits. And we actually have a Bears fan on the line. Dick, I'm going to let you go, Mr. Puncher. I want to hear the Bears fan take to balance things out here.
All right, let it ride, boys.
Let it ride. Good to hear from you. But instead of just having these guys yell at each other, Olan calling in. He is a Bears fan. Olan,
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Maybe turn him up a little bit, Ryan, if you can.
I got it.
Olan, I would ask you how you're doing, but I'm assuming it's very bad. What's going on?
Yeah, no, I try to look on the bright side of things.
Yeah.
Granted, I smoke a shit ton of ganja, so that makes it easy.
Woo! It's smoking my weed.
That last drive, Caleb probably had the 3 best throws he's had his entire career.
I know.
I think they were all to Rome. Fucking beautiful, right where you needed to have them. We line up, just like Punch said. I don't know what the fuck Eberflus was thinking. Wasted like 40 seconds off the clock. You have, again, I've been on this podcast many times. I state Roschon Johnson is a sledgehammer. Give him the ball once or twice. Let him get a little bit closer. And then just like the double doink, now we have the slap. It's actually funny. I'm watching this, pacing in my living room. My 6-year-old daughter's on one side, my 8-year-old son's on the other.
Oh, no.
And as soon as they miss, all 3 of us in unison just say fuck as loud as we can. I look at both my kids and I'm just like, don't tell your mom, but I'm proud of you. But I mean, and maybe this is going to sound fucked up, and maybe this is something that you can only say to someone who has been in this situation as a fan of a team that constantly underachieves. This is the best we have looked against the Packers in 10 fucking years. This is the first time in 10 years, like, holy, we actually have a chance to do this. Completely agree with Punch. Waldron was horrible. The new play caller, he was great. Eberflus still needs to go. Give me Gruden. Give me anyone but him. We need an offensive-minded coach. Overall, though, I mean, yeah, the outcome sucked, but I'm very proud of the way the Bears played today. I thought they looked really good in a situation where normally they get their dicks stuck.
Well, and I have read that conspiracy theory. The reason that the Barstool Gruden deal is done was because Gruden is perhaps in Chicago for other football related business.
Now again,
Spider wipe fucker.
Now again, Ola would know better, but I always heard the thing was that the Bears as a franchise were scared of hiring a big name big name coach, because they didn't want Ditka happening, where like Ditka was essentially bigger than the franchise, and he was essentially became more powerful than ownership, and everyone worshiped Ditka instead of the Bears, and they became worried about that.
Well,
Why are the Bears sounding like the Cowboys?
Yeah, I know.
But also that now they're also trying to maybe move into a less popular living situation.
Yeah.
Where maybe they need someone who's going to be a little bit of a salesman. And what better? I mean, is that a modern day John Madden? Also, he is a really good fucking coach. I mean, I would imagine he would be better for Caleb Williams than a lot of the folks they could hire, unless it's Ben Johnson.
Eberflus is one of those guys. He's a great defensive coordinator. He's not a head coach.
Yeah,
you have to.
Yeah,
it's very special guys who can make that transition of DC to head coach, especially in a league that's so offensively minded like the NFL.
No, great point. I mean, you saw Robert Saleh struggle with it, who obviously was a good defensive head coach, and you've seen what they've been like after he has left. Yeah, I mean, I think Ben Johnson is kind of your guy. Mike Vrabel is a very good head coach out there that I think would be super interesting. But
Vrabel gets my nipples hard.
Yeah, I don't know if Ben Johnson would. I don't know if he would leave the Lions to go in division. That was Ryan.
Be careful. He carries a sword. You know.
I don't want to steal Easy's thunder, but Jesus Christ, Dan Campbell's a savage, man. They're up by like 50, and he's going for it on fourth down, scoring touchdowns.
Oh,
Jesus
so great.
Christ.
Well, Olan, perfect transition.
Yeah.
We're gonna let you go. Of course, sorry
Love
for
you
your
guys.
loss.
Let it ride.
Love you as well. Let it
ride.
And we're going to bring on the aforementioned Easy. Again, Lions were a team I wish I would have put in the lock section, I guess, instead of the Chiefs, but I still felt good about the Chiefs. Even when they were down 9, the back door felt so good. Couldn't get it home, but the Lions did bet on them. It was no sweat. It felt great. I'm sure Easy is excited as always. Easy, shout out to you. And I think another Lions fan gave this out, the alt line of minus 23.5. For the Lions. That was plus 300. I mean, I think they cashed that they were up 23.5 in the first half. So Easy, how are you feeling as a Lions fan?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty easy win, kind of what I expected. Yeah, I had the 23.5. I also had minus 27.5, but I didn't give that out. I didn't feel like it was as safe, but that was 5-1, so I cashed that too. But of course, the Lions can't do anything simply, and we lose Alex Anzalone for 6 to 8 weeks. So that's kind of the shitty part of it.
Yeah, Anzalone has been a big part of the anal zone. Has been a big part of your guys' defense, and I missed that live. That's unfortunate because he's obviously super helpful on the defense. And 6 to 8 weeks, I guess you plan on getting him back for the playoffs. But yeah, that's a bummer, Easy. But I imagine again, my handicap on that game was, hey, they clearly felt like, okay, we were off. The offense looked bad. We're going to put the pedal on the metal, maybe get Jared Goff back in the MVP discussion.
Oh yeah.
Although Josh Allen certainly had something to say about that, but certainly, I mean, he got his numbers and they just dominated. I don't know what else to add about that game. They just completely boat raced him from the beginning.
Yeah. I didn't expect Jared Goff to throw as much as he did. Yeah. Especially like late in the game. I mean, you know, like Olan just said, we were up 50 and we're still slinging it to Amon-Ra going down the field. So that was kind of nuts. I didn't expect that. But for the Jared Goff sucks island crowd, he had over 400 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, and a perfect passer rating today. That's only happened 7 times in the history of the NFL, and this is his second time doing it.
Crazy. No, I mean, again, as a guy who it's been a wild ride owning land on Jared Goff sucks island, because last week my phone was ringing a bunch when the 5th interception came in. I was getting some people signing up for the brochure, and then this week phone lines are dead because Jared Goff looked really good. So hats off to you, Easy. Good call on the minus 23.5. Great alt number there. Any other touts? Any other gripes from the gambling Sunday?
Yeah, so my interception plays, I did go 0 for 4 today, so that finally slides off. But the bitch of it was
you cut out. Hold on,
guys. I didn't pick, so that was kind of a bitch. But I mean, other than that, yeah, I mean, decent day. So can't complain about too much.
To add on to the point that Easy was making, he kind of broke up for a second, but the defense, it was the first weekend. This is through the Sunday day game, so it does not include the night game. first weekend of the season with no defensive touchdowns.
Yeah, but again, Ryan, I think you were right. Like the teams that did, I had a defensive touchdown. Well, I'll say this: they were at least getting turnovers. They just, obviously there's, especially with the defensive turnover, there's some luck involved.
That Sam Darnold toss play where it just was like, whoop! It's like if that ball bounces the different direction, we might have had something going there.
All right.
Anyway, and Mac Jones, though, I didn't understand.
Yeah, we thought he'd be running more because I assumed, hey, he'd be scrambling around back there. They'd be sitting back in soft coverage, but yeah, no, never. And I mean, it sounds like he's officially going to get fired on Monday, but
really
doesn't look good for our boy Dougie P. Ryan. All right,
it seemed
R.I.P. Like, Doug P.
Yeah, I really thought maybe you put the headset down in the game and just leave third quarter, maybe. And Dan, what did he do? What a way to go out!
What a way to go out!
What did he do to Dan Campbell? That Dan Campbell stepping on his throat.
That was a little, yeah. I mean, some of that was kind of uncalled for, but again, stop him. You guys
Doug
are
Peterson was that
athletes.
girl at Tiananmen Square or whatever. Dan Campbell was the tank.
Yeah, great historic reference for our audience.
Oh, thank you.
Easy. Thanks for calling in, man. Appreciate it as always. Congrats to your Lions.
I appreciate y'all.
Let it ride. Ryan, of course, hopefully you signed up over at mybookie.ag. Use the promo code SGPN. Easy deposit, easy withdrawal using that sweet cryptocurrency, the prop builder. As soon as you sign up, it's live, it's ready to go. You can start firing on some first touchdowns. Maybe you already signed up over on MyBookie. Tailed Kramer and I, Will Dissly first touchdown. Also, the Will Dissly receiving yards ladder was very, nice payouts there over on MyBookie. And when you use a promo code SGPN, 100% match up to $1,000 and a $10 casino chip, just in case you get hot in the live dealer casino. Again, fast crypto deposit and payouts. You cannot beat it. Highly recommend them. If you haven't signed up, what are you waiting for? MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. All right, Ryan. Good to hear from all the super fans, everyone checking in, and yeah, a lot of games to get to. Let's get to it. First off, I don't know, nothing else probably to add. I feel like we've talked about it a little bit, but Eagles get the win in the cover, 26-18 over the Skins. To me, Ryan, does Jaden Daniels have offensive rookie of the year locked up? I feel like I'm too biased to answer this question, but you as an impartial observer,
no. I think there's plenty of time.
And who would be your second choice right now?
My second choice personally. I think Bo Nix would probably be number 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I think it's a pretty. I mean, it probably involves an injury to Jaden Daniels, if we're being completely honest.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I think kind of what we're seeing is that
Jaden Daniels can continue to play the way he is. They make the playoffs and
continue to play the way he plays. I don't think he's played particularly well these past couple games, and I do think
missing the playoffs is in the equation.
I think so. I think if both
he would have to miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I think if both Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix make the playoffs, I think they would give it to Jaden Daniels. But I think there's a world where Jaden Daniels might miss the playoffs. He's taken a ton of shots. You saw, and now maybe he gets healthy with the Thursday to Sunday extra rest. But again, like I think the wear and tear of the NFL season is clearly hitting him.
Yeah, rookie.
Whereas Bo Nix has gotten better as the season's gone along. He's had a ton of time to throw. So I think the Broncos defense is a little bit better. I think he's in a better shot or better area to succeed. So I think he's still live in this. If the season ended today, I would still give it to Jaden Daniels. Packers 20, Bears 19. Kind of just hit on a lot of stuff there. Nice win for the close your eyes special, Ryan. We were both on the Bears there.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing big to report. I mean, Caleb Williams was a willing, active runner. They were throwing the ball well. They were flying around on defense. They played a good game. You just got to kick that field goal at the end. That was about it.
I mean, it was a classic divisional game. Jordan Love is who we thought he was. The Bears offense played well, specifically Odunze and like DJ Moore should be pouty because clearly Caleb Williams and Odunze have some sort of chemistry.
Yeah.
All of DJ Moore stuff was schemed up. The critical stuff when they needed it, where'd it go? Odunze.
No, and Olan, if you are optimistic, him talking about Caleb Williams throwing some darts to your other rookie receiver, like a rookie to rookie connection driving down, which should be a game winning field goal. You got to at least be a little optimistic.
I remember this summer starting to like get ready for the season, or at least like dive in deeper. And I was shocked by how many people were positively spinning the addition of Shane Waldron, knowing I watched the offense out there in Seattle with my eyes.
Yeah.
Like, what are we? This is one of those. He hung out with McVay once at his pool, and maybe also got completely lied to about the idea of seeing a cool trick from his dog. Complete bullshit. Anyway, I think the idea that Shane Waldron was counterproductive makes me wonder how many of the offensive coordinators in the NFL are just complete fucking idiots. What do you mean you weren't running? One of the things they changed this week is they ran plays that Caleb Williams had comfort with. Like, what the fuck? Why would you not tailor your offense to what your guy? This makes no sense. So once again, Matt Eberflus has to be fired for hiring this guy.
Yeah.
How do you hire a guy that's going to bring in a rigid system that clearly sucks?
Yeah, and they had a.
And by the way, fuck you for the Gerald Everett shit this offseason. And that ruined a lot.
I think the Bears have some crazy list of number of assistants and coordinators that have been fired under Eberflus. Like usually you don't get to fire like 10, 11 guys.
Don't ask, don't tell. Guys are just getting fired, whacked. I mean,
there's a lot of stuff going on.
I'm going to take some time to spend it with my family. Like what? What happened? But why? The running backs coach he
all of a
disappears.
Sudden, 3 weeks into the off season, you want to hang out with your family.
Generally, these family-run organizations have a little bit of rot.
Yeah,
they got a clean house.
Cleveland Browns 14, New Orleans Saints 35. This is the game I feel like I was most wrong about. I thought, and there certainly were shades of this where, hey, the Browns coming off 2 weeks rest. To me, the biggest fuck up by them was, I would say they didn't stick to Nick Chubb. I thought Nick Chubb was running pretty decent.
Yeah, they never did it at all.
Yeah, they never really committed to the running game. And then the Darren Rizzi effect, Ryan. I was saying he's he brought that energy. I thought it would fall off after week one, but no, like the tackling really was the difference in this game. It sounds cliche, but like there was just so much arm tackling by the Cleveland Browns, who are coming off a bye you would expect to be fresher, lower pad level, and that just wasn't the case. Our boy Taysom Hill, who we had in fantasy, we did not start, had three touchdowns. And again, maybe the audience is somewhat to blame, Ryan, because we probably would have given out Taysom Hill 2 touchdowns, maybe 3 touchdowns, but we don't want to bore the audience by keep giving out Taysom Hill 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. But it was just the tackling by the Browns was horrific. That to me is coaching. So
we overlooked the Browns road splits again. Have to remember that. Also,
but to me, it was more about the energy and tackling and just this team getting up was still there in week 2. He is Rich Bisaccia of this year. Remember Rich Bisaccia got the Raiders.
He's got the Riz.
I mean, even Antonio Pierce. Remember last year's Antonio Pierce team?
Yeah.
They brought in a new head coach. Everyone clearly hated that other coach, and it translated after multiple weeks.
But also, horseshoe up their ass stuff was happening.
Yeah. No, they're getting every bounce.
So. And yeah, the tackling, Taysom Hill having 3 touchdowns and a couple of them longer. They ran every trick play in the book. It does seem like this isn't going to last, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, disappointed that I looked past the road stuff, but they still. Stefanski's done this before. Go turn on some Browns talk radio right now. I'm sure they're saying, like, how do you forget about the run game? Or Chubb's bang,
and that to
Ford
me
was out there way too much. Chubb must still be banged up.
Yeah, maybe. I thought he would be full go, but did not get the full Chubb. Next up, we got the Los Angeles Rams get the win, get the cover 28-22 against.
It's a baby fucking wheel, man.
New England Patriots. This game I was hemming and hawing back and forth on. Ultimately did go with the Pats there, but I don't know. This game really, as far as the cover, it felt like it was the back door was hanging around for this Pats team. Drake May did make a couple nice throw, but Stafford just seems to when his back is against the wall, he plays some really good games. Certainly the Pats defense not amazing, but also Stafford had some really good throws. Nakua had a couple really good catches. I think him and Cup both had over 100 yards. They got loose. I mean, this to me isn't a crazy outcome. They only covered by 1. I don't know, depending on what you got it, but I don't know. What's your take, Ryan? No big takeaways for me.
I mean, the difference in the game is that busted Cooper Cup play.
Yeah.
So, I think New England's going to continue to be a team we might look to as a dog.
Yeah.
And this Rams team, I mean, again, they weren't exactly hyper efficient in the red zone.
No,
the scores were longer. Puka is the guy who changes this team now. It's no longer Cooper Cup.
Yeah, I think if you can limit the big plays against the Rams, you're good. But not every team can.
And I thought, Drake May has to figure out how to count to like 2.5, 3 seconds and not have those horrendous game breaking fumbles.
Yeah.
Period. He's young Josh Allen right now.
I like that comparison.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers 18, Baltimore Ravens 16. Steelers get the
what a win. Game of the week.
Lock. Money line for Kramer. Lock for me.
Game of the week.
This was just AFC North football and any sort of the props of like Russell Wilson and Freiermuth, the yardage props that like little gingerbreads, they were dancing in my head like, oh, this Ravens defense, and then as soon as the game starts, you're like, oh yeah, this is
nothing.
This is an alley fist fight every single time, and the same reason why we liked Steelers with the points, Tomlin as a dog. These games just get ugly as hell. Russell Wilson had a horrible interception in the end zone. Justin Tucker missed 2 makeable, at least by old Justin Tucker standards, and shout out to Terrell pointing out that Jake Elliott was seeming like the worst kicker in the league, like a guy who totally lost it until Justin Tucker stole his trophy from him.
Well, yeah, Tucker no longer.
I've been on the Justin Tucker sucks.
Sean's sitting on the couch giggling as Justin Tucker's missing field goals.
I love it.
Is a peak week 11, but like he's no longer the most accurate kicker in NFL history.
No, and I think
shout out Eddie Pinheiro.
Yeah, Eddie Pinheiro just edged by him. George Pickens did have a good game, 8 for 89. Didn't end up getting a touchdown. But really, this is just about the defense. And there were just a couple big plays. I mean, Patrick Queen ripping that ball out of, I think it was Isaiah Likely's hands, and then recovering his own fumble was just like, hey, I'm Patrick Queen. I'm not going to lose this game. And that's all you needed. And then there was Harbaugh had some really bad, or whoever called the 2-point play to tie things up. That was a horrible play, rolling Lamar out to his left.
He's never covered as a favorite.
Yeah.
Against the Steelers, period.
Yep.
And yeah, all the Patrick Queen quotes that I read on the pick show. Clearly this game mattered.
Yeah, they brought him out for the coin toss.
Not happy with the way he was treated by the Ravens.
This is just classic Steelers Ravens football, and shout out to
Justin Fields coming in and helping us clinch the game, kind of, but
he like slid before.
Don't use your brain, Justin.
Yeah,
you
are
great
expendable.
Athlete.
They don't mind if you get hurt.
Great athlete.
CJ had a great nugget that Joe Burrow threw for 9 touchdowns in the 2 games against the Ravens, 0 wins. The Steelers get the win with 0 touchdowns. If you told me, now that would have been a hell of a same game parlay. Yeah. Steelers to win money line with no touchdowns
and 6 field goals.
Yeah,
Boswell.
But I would say, Ryan, just looking at the slate, if there was one team that you said would win as an underdog this week without scoring a touchdown, my mind immediately would have been the Steelers.
Yeah, because it would have been like 9-7 or whatever.
Yeah,
easy to see. We've seen that game before.
Crazy, but also like as expected in a lot of ways.
Boswell now has 2 6 field goal games on the season.
Crazy.
Of course, you remember the week 1 game against Atlanta where they did not score a touchdown. And everyone was making fun of them.
They have 2 games without scoring touchdowns.
Where they won both of them.
And shout out to the Steelers there. Raiders 19, Dolphins 34. I mean, even though the Dolphins won and covered this number, I'm still kind of down on the Dolphins. I didn't feel great about this win for them. Raiders almost kind of got the back door, and the Raiders are just a disaster. I thought they would have a little pulse coming out of the bye, crazy rest disparity, which apparently that doesn't matter because the team coming off a bye playing the team on Monday night.
It matters.
It matters. It really hasn't though. ATS
small sample size.
No, I get it. I'm just saying it. It should matter more, and it just doesn't.
It's more, yeah. It's not just the bye; it's the bye with something shortening on the other side too. So,
but yeah, I mean, I'm completely done with the Raiders. Not that I was ever on them, but just any sort of backdoor stuff they had, that's gone.
Oh, but this is when they stand. They're completely dead. Are you saying?
I don't know.
No pulse.
Then they'll backdoor some 10-point spread coming up.
Well, I mean, they do have your Broncos on deck, Sean.
Oh. Yeah, I love fading them there
in Las Vegas.
Yep,
we're gonna be out there this Friday. Oh, there's gonna be nothing but Broncos fans hanging around Circa. You'll get to meet the guy who wears the horse head.
Oh, I'm gonna. I
assume we're gonna meet.
I'm gonna walk around Circa Friday.
You gotta go
night.
to the huddle up.
Come say hi. I'll be the guy in the barrel and suspenders. Maybe we can get that costume for Derek.
Oh wow. I think we need to send some messages to the team because they might actually.
That would be great. Social. We kind of hit on this game with easy. Not a lot to add. Detroit 52, Jags 6. That was a bloodbath.
I mean, unbelievable ass kicking.
Yeah, 100%. Vikings 23, Titans 13. I was on the Vikings here. Yeah, I don't know. I was never going to lock this up or bet a lot on it because I was always nervous about Tennessee backdooring it. Levis did somehow learn to throw the football a little bit. I don't know.
Will Levis is like if you took Josh Allen's brain and you turned you turned down the IQ and you turned up the risk taking.
Hey, he threw for 295, right?
Oh my god! I said to CJ, I'm like, CJ, imagine if this was the first game of the season.
And
why couldn't we just have had this for the first game of the season, Sean? Just one game.
Yeah, just to give us hope. Give us hope.
1 week of us touting.
I mean, and Nick Westbrook-Akine. At 2 for 117 and the touchdown. He had like that 98 yarder. Westbrook and Kine, I was going to say would be a fun touchdown guy going forward.
Yeah.
But I think we probably missed our window here. Next up, we got the Indianapolis Colts 28, New York Jets 27. Wow. The Jets are just an unmitigated disaster. Colts get out to a nice start to the game. Hey, they're up 13-0. I'm feeling pretty decent about the money line. Oh, okay. Breece Hall, they had trouble with. He scored before halftime. You're like, okay. And then of course, Anthony Richardson, horrific fumble in the pocket. Jets get the touchdown. Okay. And then they trade some field goals. Okay. The fourth quarter starts. Jets get the touchdown. I'm like, what am I doing? Betting on the Colts. They get the touchdown. Don't get the 2. And then Jets have to settle for a field goal, 27-22. I'm like, they have time. And then Anthony Richardson, I mean, it is just right. Anthony Richardson's like craps. He's either hot and you're like, this is awesome, or he craps out immediately and you're like, this is the worst game. Why would I ever play such a dumb game? He rolled 3 7s in a row.
No way he took any of his tests in college, right?
I mean, he doesn't. I don't know. He just does.
I don't think so.
We did.
I think he might be next. He's so dumb. He got suspended quietly for a couple weeks.
Well, Ryan has a conspiracy theory, and maybe there's something to it that he got suspended for not doing enough work.
Well, it got out.
Yeah,
it got out, and they obviously Rappaport, who we all know shills for the teams. He massaged the message to say like he had some game prep issues. Game prep issues?
Yes.
What's a game prep issue? Well, you're showing up to practice. So what's the game prep? You're too dumb to learn the playbook. That's what it is. So they sat him down for a couple of weeks. Imagine being too dumb to learn an NFL playbook.
It's crazy, but
also pulling yourself out of a game.
Anthony Richardson, Ryan, he did hit the over rushing attempts, which was part of our underdog entry. Also, nice 3x cash. Anthony Richardson anytime touchdown.
You got the 2 tutties,
which hit, and yeah, it was a 2 touchdown performance. I'm going to keep taking quarterbacks rushing against the Jets. It seems to be a thing. I'll tell you the one big takeaway: Aaron Rodgers, when he got sacked that last time. Now, granted, there were like 4 or 5 seconds left. Probably didn't have enough time to go up and spike it. He spiked it just like off to the side, and the game was over. And he's just kind of a pouty little bitch. He is. It's just negative body language. I have to have everything my way, and then you get everything your way, and you're still looking like shit. He missed a ton of throws.
Surely,
I know the Jets have other issues, but he missed a ton of throws.
Surely you've seen the graphics comparing his win percentage to other Jets greats like Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson has a better winning percentage as a Jet.
That's crazy. And we were also, I think,
play Tyrod.
Yeah.
See what you got.
I think we gave out his rushing yards ladder, Anthony Richardson, on the Beeson show. That didn't hit, unfortunately, but got the touchdown, got the attempts for the underdog entry. I thought he would be more successful running the ball. I don't know.
It seemed like it early too. They started it early and it just didn't materialize. You know what it was? He was running for short amount of gains. He didn't really have any big pop runs.
And Jonathan Taylor, 24 carries, only 57 yards.
Yeah, Jets made a conscious effort. It didn't matter.
Well, because he to his credit, I know the knock on Anthony Richardson is he couldn't throw the ball, but he had a number of high level throws. He also had a number of throws where you're like, my God, dude, you got to be kidding me. Well, but he also had like a bunch of throws. Ryan, I said there was a guy like 35 yards down the field that he threw the ball so fast, even 35 yards down the field, it went through his hands. I'm like, it's crazy to say you got to take something off a 40-yard throw.
I mean, again, it's the curse of being able to hit the roof of the training building.
Yeah,
because it's completely irrelevant to playing football, but everyone's going to get excited because you can throw a football and hit the roof. That's Anthony Richardson. I think, in a nutshell.
Again, now
he can do shit that doesn't matter really well.
If he is just the perfect guy. If he gets the right coaching and if he puts in the work, man. Well, like I can see, but I'm just saying
he wasn't putting in the work.
Well, that was the problem. But at least this game, you saw moments where you're like, okay, I understood why he was drafted 4th overall.
Do they have a shot to make the playoffs?
Yeah, of course.
Are you betting on them to win the division?
Oh, I don't know, man, because
down to 8-1.
I thought it was interesting just because I didn't believe in the Texans. But I do think obviously the Texans get the win tomorrow night. They're on the bubble. They're the 8th seed right now. So yeah, them squeezing into 7, but you look at the teams that are ahead of them: Broncos, Ravens, Chargers. Who I don't know, like who of those teams are getting knocked out?
Yeah, I don't know.
Certainly not my Broncos, right?
By the way, looking at some of the other teams right now, Bengals plus 410 to make the playoffs.
They're down to 4-7. I know Burrow keeps announcing the schedule and just saying like, yeah, we got to run the table. No problem.
Broncos are still favored to miss the playoffs, Sean.
That's wild.
Not by me, but by the market. Yeah. Chargers minus 1,300. Yes.
Wow. All right.
But they're 10-1 to win their division. So
yeah, I don't see the division happening. Seattle Seahawks 20, 49ers 17. I mean, I picked the 49ers. Glad I didn't do anything, get
Brock Purdy's first loss to the Seahawks.
Yeah, this 49ers team, it really does seem just like the hangover year. Like
Nick Bosa left the game, completely changed the game.
Dealing with a hip thing. Geno Smith was was running all over the place late. Very weird, ugly game.
I mean, massive win for the Seahawks, just for a new coaching staff. Big time win. The San Francisco 49ers have now lost to every team in their division. They're 1-3 in their division.
Yes. Ryan, Nick Fortune, who is a 49er super fan.
Okay.
He DM'd me saying, if you're a serious team, you can't lose to the Rams when you have a 4th quarter lead. If you're a serious team, you can't lose to the Cardinals when you have a 4th quarter lead. If you're a serious team, you can't lose to the Seahawks when you have a 4th quarter lead. Fade the 49ers.
These are all true statements.
Yeah.
And I would add that it feels really good to have a Cardinals plus 1375.
Well, because they've done well in the division too.
They're 6-4. Every other team's 5-5.
Yeah.
And I would say if you're going down the list of quarterbacks, you want leading your team down the field to win that game. Where's Kyler fit on that list at this point?
All right, Ryan, enough messing around. Tyler says I've been teasing the Bo Nix talk, but how about Bo Nix?
Yep.
28 for 33, 307 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, a 145 passer rating.
Wow, passer rating.
And for those who tailed, cash that Broncos over 5.5.
Nice work, Sean.
Thank you.
Were you also on the Bo Nix over 207.5 passing yards today, like I was? Because it was a great matchup against a team without a pass rush. This was a great.
The fans are going wild for Nix.
This was a great
Mo Bo.
This was a great.
It was a perfect matchup for him. But
perfect matchup.
Don't let that take away from how Bo Nix has gotten better each and every week.
Did you watch how clueless? I
watched every snap.
How clueless Raheem Morris looked on the sideline in this one.
You know what? The funniest thing to me was like watching Raheem Morris and then showing the Atlanta Falcons win-loss below them. I'm like, how is this team have more wins than losses? I could not figure it out.
No, we're so close to hitting that most losses bet. Although there's a lot of team with a lot of losses this year.
Yes,
unfortunately.
And then I quote tweeted it because someone said, "Why does Sean keep sucking off the Denver Broncos?" And
third place in their division,
8-3 ATS. So yeah, if you think it's boring for me to pick the Broncos every week, well, you know, tell them to stop winning and covering. What do people want from me? This was the perfect matchup, and I would say the Broncos offensive line has been playing really well. Like not only do the Falcons not have a pass rush, but I think they also are doing a good job protecting him. And like Sean Payton clearly wanted him for this system. He was worried about some other team, maybe like the Giants, who arguably could use a high quality quarterback like Bo Nix, taking them. It's crazy to me he fell to 11.
What? You're now gonna go. You're so high on Bo Nix. You're gonna put the car in reverse.
Yeah,
and go back to him as a draft prospect. Early success from an old quarterback in a system that is set up for early success makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Don't get too excited.
I'm a believer.
Calm down.
Don't stop believing.
All right. So here's the
hold on to your dream.
So
pretty drunk. It's awesome.
If someone would be willing to send Sean a Bo Nix fathead, it would go up in the house next to Jalen Hurts.
No, not in the house.
Next to Jalen Hurts.
Might find a place for it in the studio.
No, definitely not. There's no place in the studio
over your desk.
There's no place,
so you can see what you could have.
It's just gonna be weird when we got to peel it down in 2 years when he's a draft bust being traded to another team like Mac Jones. He has the Mac Jones career. Matt, you were excited about Mac.
Don't stop believing.
Someone pull some clips of Sean talking about Mac Jones that first year. Very similar vibes to me.
All right,
this is a great comparison, actually. Now that I'm
for haters.
All right, so
not believers.
So the playoff picture in the AFC, Sean. Yep. You have the Chargers and the Ravens, which are like the premium class of wild card, and then right beneath there, you have the Broncos 6-5.
Yep.
You have the Colts 5-6, and you have the Dolphins at 4-6, and then the Bengals at 4-7. So you have, I mean, it does seem like looking at this now, I'm a little surprised. I'd have to analyze the schedule. A little surprised that they're dogs to make the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to walk through the Broncos schedule real quick?
Sure. I mean,
at Raiders.
I want to make sure if everyone else is in the same state as you, I want to make sure they get to completion.
At Raiders win.
I think the Raiders game is dangerous, but
Browns at home win.
Oh, Jameis.
Colts at home win.
Oh, that Colts game, that's basically like probably a playoff eliminator game right there.
Which one?
The Colts game, because I think the Colts and Bronco are a similar.
Colts, I don't know, man. It could go real bad.
I'm just saying, if the Colts win a couple games, they'll be in the same mix as the Broncos.
So their tough stretch is these last 3 games: at Chargers, at Bengals, and then Chiefs at home.
Well, Chiefs might not need to play. I mean, that
if the Chiefs has the number 1 seed, but
Steelers,
but also like the Broncos still have a pretty good team, and now
Steelers are 8-2. Sean, they're only 1 game back of the Chiefs.
Well, and so are the Bills.
Yes,
Bills are 9-2, and they have the tiebreaker over them.
So maybe no resting this year.
It's going to get interesting, but I'm a believer.
Can the Steelers? I mean, Sean, one of us predicted the Steelers to get the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll be right about something.
Terrell asking if I have 2 drinks. Oh, I have 1 tea for my voice, and then another one. It's whiskey for my gumption.
Hold on, I
had a number of whiskeys before the episode.
Yeah, it's a football Sunday.
You know what it was?
What are you gonna do?
I was just hanging out with CJ. He's like, treat yourself to a cocktail. CJ was encouraging me to drink. He's like, after that Chiefs. He goes after, and he was rubbing it in because he had the Bills. He goes, after Josh Allen ran that in,
son of a bitch.
The 4th and 2 ran that down your throat there with the Chiefs. You earned a cocktail.
All right, so oh man, that would be pretty swell. If I can, let's go Steelers.
Chiefs 21, Bills 30. Yeah, I mean, this was kind of as expected, back and forth game. I don't know, anything kind of crazy.
Mahomes, like his performance in the beginning parts of the game, not very good.
Yeah,
kind of gave just the reckless Josh Allen like turnovers to give the Bills, and then honestly, it felt like the Bills weren't just playing a Week 11 game, and it felt like the Chiefs were playing a Week 11 game. So Josh Allen lied to us when he said it's just a Week 11 game.
No, I mean,
and now they're going to lose to the Chiefs in the playoffs. It's already it's in stone.
It was a back and forth game. I still felt pretty good about cashing the 2.5. That backdoor was wide open on that last drive. Chiefs couldn't get it in there. The game came down to Josh Allen on 4th and 2, running it in for a touchdown. So hats off to the Bills. They played a good game. They knocked off the undefeated Chiefs. Yeah, but also the Chiefs, to their credit, they were due for a loss. Like they probably, if they lose to the Broncos, do they lose this game, Ryan?
I mean, I did
maybe, but maybe not. Right?
I did speculate that Andy Reid, any great coach would love to have throwaway loss, which not really. But talk about a loss. What do you get? You get motivation for the rematch in the playoffs. You get 2 weeks of, hey guys, we just lost a fucking game because you're not that good. You've been winning a lot of games on the margin. And oh, by the way, now, if you ever have an opportunity to be like, hey, Mahomes, there's like 4 or 5 dudes ahead of you in the MVP discussion right now. What are we doing right now? And speaking of that MVP discussion, Sean, I know we've been tracking this, and we said it's ridiculous how far they dropped Jared Goff's price.
Yeah.
Over at FanDuel, they dropped it to what, like 30 something?
It was 38 to 1.
38 to 1.
What is the FanDuel MVP
updated updated MVP odds from FanDuel right now? Josh Allen plus 150. Felt like that was a huge decision for him in that game. Lamar Jackson still 2-1. That makes sense.
But Ravens have 4 losses now.
No issue with him being the second right now, though. Although he looked like shit in the Steelers game.
I think his path to winning is pretty bad because I think the MVP is going to be who.
So he's not getting it over Josh Allen unless they get the 1 seed. But now he's a wild card.
Allen has 2 wins over him. So I just don't see how does Lamar get MVP if they're not a higher seed than the Bills, right?
Bills are 9-2. They're 7-4. Yeah.
So Bills are up 2 games on them. They're not going to be able to get MVP. He's not going to be able to get MVP with that difference in games. It's unlikely unless Bills hit a wall.
The Steelers are the 1 seed. Who gets it? All right. So then after Lamar Jackson,
Russell Wilson.
Well, this is the Jared Goff scenario.
Yeah.
After Lamar Jackson at 2-1, Jared Goff back down to 7-1. Sean. So, yeah.
Like I said, you're going to get some CLV, but you're not going to win.
Any interest in this next tier, guys? Mahomes 12-1.
No.
At what point does it get interesting to because if they get hot second half of the year, the 15-1.
Yeah.
Or is he pretty much out of it?
I don't know. It's like the narrative's pretty tired. All right. I guess if they won out, yeah, he would be back in it.
Hurts 17-1, Herbert 25-1, which.
So if the Eagles got the number 1 seed in the NFC, so that would mean Eagles, they're 1 game back from the Lions, which is not impossible. They don't play each other. It would have to be some NFC tiebreakers.
Barkley at 65-1 might be a better bet.
They'll never give it to Barkley.
You know,
I'll bet. I'll bet the no on that, Ryan. I mean, I love Barkley. He's looking great for Offensive Player of the Year, especially now with Derrick Henry not having a great game. So,
last one I'll say: Kyler Murray 30-1.
No thanks.
Okay,
that's a fun ticket.
Okay.
Bengals 27-34 Chargers. We kind of hit on all that. I don't have anything else to add. Do you, Kramer?
Chargers have fans.
They do.
I thought Harbaugh would be able to accomplish that feat over a couple seasons. I did not think he'd have it solved by week 11.
And that is pretty crazy. That's the underrated story for me.
Sure, it took a couple good bounces, but fuck.
Yeah, let's get to our Monday Night Football props before we do. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy. Use that promo code SGPN. Get you a 50% deposit match up to $1,000 when you use the promo code SGPN. I mean, it is just we've been killing it on Underdog, Ryan. I know because my balance is just through the roof. I'm going to pick up some of the winners we've had recently. We just hit on the 3-teamer we gave out on the prop show. Hit the 2-teamer from college football. That was nice. Hit the 2-teamer from 3-teamer. Hit the 3-teamer Thursday night. Hit the 3-teamer from the prop show and hit the 2 entry one from the college football.
Pretty much undefeated this week.
Very good run for us. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Kramer, what's your first prop?
I'm going all in on Joe Mixon.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna give you a handful. We can say this counts for 2 of my props, but I think you have to play the attempts and the rushing yards.
Okay.
Specifically, when you look at the attempts over the last 4 weeks, it's been ridiculous. He's had basically 24, 25 carries every week. They finally have pushed this up to 20.5. Still, if he's getting 25 carries, I'm fine just playing the attempts over. But then also you look at the yards and he's coming off a strange game against the Detroit Lions where he had 25 carries for 46 yards.
Yeah, very low.
But the other, bulk carry games, 106 yards, 102 yards, 115 yards. So seems pretty obvious. All he's done is have bell cow games. Now he's got a bounce back opportunity in a situation where they're going against a team that can't stop the run. Abysmal adjusted line yards. Just they're going to be playing from a lead. So 84.5 is the rushing yard, Sean. But then I would also encourage you to play the Joe Mixon ladder, specifically 100 yards is plus 150. If maybe you don't want to play the 84.5, lay that minus 115. 100 yards is plus 150. So Joe Mixon, all in on him. He's going to be he'll be on the entry too for Underdog. Stay tuned. Maybe a fantasy play.
Yeah. Rhythm Ryan, of course, also likes Joe Mixon over his rushing yards. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
I think everyone's going to like it.
Yeah. Go there for the 7-day free trial. It was a really good day for Rhythm. I know Xavier Worthy was something they really liked. He had an awesome day, including the anytime smash through his receiving yardage props as well. I like the angle on Joe Mixon. I didn't play anything from Joe Mixon.
Really? Oh, you got to play one of those.
Oh, maybe I will. I'll play it via Underdog. Dalton Schultz anytime touchdown plus 350.
Dog.
Yes, pretty high.
Pretty high. And this is a, shop around, because I was seeing it like 240 and I'm like, I'm on the fence there at 240, but 350, that's great. It's a revenge game. And the Cowboys have allowed 5 touchdowns to tight ends in 9 games. So the touchdowns allowed are kind of in a weird state with, some teams playing 11 games already, et cetera, but they're right up there as far as touchdowns they allow in these games. I know Goddard had a good game. You can throw on this Cowboys team to the tight end. So at plus 350 in the red zone, I think they're going to go out of their way to give Dalton Schultz a game. The revenge game at plus 350. I love it. So all day with Dalton Schultz.
Well, I know he against. So you would think, if you think about the San Francisco offense, there's certain games where Kittle shows up and there's certain that he doesn't. And I think same with Dalton Schultz. And this kind of strikes me as the kind of game where it is a positive matchup for him. So, and stay tuned to the first touchdown.
And Macon Bacon's pointing out Schultz has to be the biggest letdown tight end this season. He hasn't. He came in with some expectations. I think part of it is one, CJ Stroud's not been as fire throwing the ball. There's a lot of mouths to feed. The offense is dealing with injuries. There's a lot of excuses, but I think this is like a good breakout game for Dalton Schultz. Certainly, at least the anytime at plus 350 is crazy in my mind.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. They have a fun tight end group in general, but yeah, a lot of tight ends have been bad this year too. I don't know if he's been the biggest bust.
Who would be the biggest bust?
I mean,
well, Sam Laporta because of injury, but
I was gonna say you go right to the top.
Part of it.
Mark Andrews hasn't exactly done a ton. Dalton Kincaid hasn't exactly.
Well, I mean, if you're listening to the show, Mark Andrews was never someone you wrote.
No, I'm just saying that a lot of the top.
Kyle
picks,
Pitts, nice 1 for 9.
A lot of the top picks
today
have not been very good.
No, this is the Pitts breakout.
That was the point. It was it wasn't. It wasn't to say that you might have been high on Mark Andrews.
How dare you, Ryan? What's your next prop?
Cooper Rush under 175. Passing yards.
I gave it out on the prop show 184. Looks like it's dropped a little bit.
Well, and look at that. And you gave out Monday night props on the prop show.
That was an accident.
Breaking all the rules. Not only has it's moved 30 yards from last week.
Yeah.
Where
I mean, there's a chance he doesn't finish the game. Like they're not committed to him. They already put in Trey Lance against the Eagles. What do they give a shit?
How many yards did he pass for last
45. I know that off the top of my head.
Okay. That's comical. You got and Trey Lance's name has been said.
Yeah,
so.
definitely.
All right.
I'm going to go Tank Dell over 47.5 receiving yards. This is another angle Rhythm liked. Cowboys secondary is ass in general, 29th in DVOA versus the receiver. And I think you're getting a discount on Tank Dell because of Nico Collins coming back. We see this all the time. The guys coming back from injuries. Sometimes they go out of their way to defeat him, but sometimes it does take a little bit for him to get in rhythm, etc. Tank Dell at 47.5 feels pretty doable.
Yeah, I mean, they just haven't looked the same since Nico went out.
Nico's his guy, clearly, but I think Nico being back, they'll roll coverage to Nico. I just think Tank Dell at 47.5 feels too low.
Yeah, it's hard to not like.
And the math guys over at Rhythm do it, so I trust them.
Next up, Kaimi Fairbairn over 2.5 extra points.
Whoa, okay.
Again, I don't want to bore you with Joe Mixon multi-touchdown plus 350 bullshit, but Joe Mixon's going to have a day. And we know that Joe Mixon likes to have spurts in his career. He's put up 3 touchdown games multiple times. Anyway, 2.5. We're going over 2.5 extra points plus odds. So
okay,
good luck.
Like that. Last regular prop for me. Dallas Cowboys under 14.5 points. You're getting plus 120 on that, Ryan.
Whoa. You don't think they get to 14?
I'm a degenerate.
No, I think they get to 14, but not over it. So that's why I like under 14.5. Dallas's offense. Dallas's offense is really, really bad.
Yes,
really bad. I mean,
it's a tough matchup.
Hurts fumbled, and they had a great chance to get a touchdown. Couldn't. CeeDee Lamb seems completely out of sync. I mean, it's a 2-part equation where their offense sucks. They can't run the ball when they had Dak. Cooper Rush is a downgrade from Dak, and this Texans defense is really pretty good. So
that's the.
I mean, this Texans defense intercepted Jared Goff 5 times and for the most part, did a really good job shutting down this electric Lions offense. Now they're coming off an embarrassing loss. They're gonna be fired the fuck up. So I like the motivation angle for the Texans. I like Derek Stingley against CeeDee Lamb. I like all the angles on the Texans defense. Like, I think, this is going to be like a 31-14 game.
Yeah, that feels maybe not as. I'm probably even more to the under than you are, but yeah, definitely has blowout potential.
100%. Kramer, what's your? Do you have one more prop?
No.
I
actually gave you 4. I have 2 Mixon, a Cooper Rush, and a Kaimi Fairbairn.
Wow.
If you're keeping track at home.
All right.
You gave out 3.
Yes.
I just doubled up on Mixon.
Okay. All right. Here's what we got. Do you want to do first touchdown? First touchdown for me.
First touchdown.
Yeah, my model, much like tonight with the Chargers, only had Chargers scoring first, so I only do 3 from the side I'm on. Dalton Schultz already laid out the case for Dalton Schultz 15-1. Again, I think he's going to be involved in the red zone, the revenge game aspect. Xavier Hutchinson is a guy worth keeping an eye on. First touchdown 36-1. Targets increasing. He's out there for 84% of the snaps. I think it's like 1-3-4 or 1-4-3 is targets last few games, which is always kind of a good sign. And then Cade Stover, he's out there almost like for a lot of the game. He's the second tight end for the Texans. The Bobby Sloak offense doesn't mind running 2 tight ends. He's had 7 targets in these last 3 games. Hasn't gotten a touchdown. Kind of #due. So 44-1, just within. Anything below like 35-1, probably not worth firing on him. But Cade Stover, 44-1, Xavier Hutchinson 36-1, and Dalton Schultz 15-1.
Thought about getting Hutchinson in there.
Yeah,
got Schultz in there.
Okay.
Also have Mechie 27-1. Good story. Houston defense. You got to play that 34-1 against this Dallas offense. I do have one Cowboy, Sean.
Really?
3rd string. That
is a disgusting act.
He went to Minnesota. Gopher. He also was the instigator in the first training camp fight. His name's Brevin Spanford. He's 100-1. That's what we're doing. So Houston defense, John Mechie, Dalton Schultz, and we're 100-1 banger on the Cowboys just in case. 3rd string tight ends.
You called it a Cowboys bet a banger, Ryan.
Yeah, 3rd string tight ends.
Love it. We should probably bleep this when the audience.
100-1.
That is just.
It's called insurance, Sean.
So like when the dealer offers you that in blackjack, you
never
take it.
Never take it.
But in Cowboys games, you want to take
for 100-1. Kid named Brevin Spanford.
I'd rather go Cade Stover.
Okay. Is he 100-1?
No, he's 44-1.
Exactly.
Which I'd rather win 44-1 on the Texans than 100-1 on the Cowboys.
Okay.
Because winning on the Cowboys is losing, Ryan. We all know that. All right. What are we doing for our Monday night underdog entry?
I would propose we put
Mixon.
Joe Mixon.
Okay, so Mixon. Do you want to go attempts or yards?
This is one where we could do fantasy points.
Ooh, okay.
What's the number?
Let's see. Fantasy points 16.35.
Yeah, because I don't think he gets a ton from his pass catches. Like there's not going to be a lot of catches in there.
Okay,
it's all touchdowns, and the touchdown price is junk. And so, but the touchdown still gives you 6 points in the fantasy.
Yeah,
world,
no, I like. All right, so
let's go higher.
Joe Mixon higher 16.35 fantasy points. Who are the? I know you're high on some Cowboys having a good game.
No, just guys? A 3rd string tight end who's 100-1, mispriced by the book.
Okay.
Number play, but yeah, we
have to take the under Cooper Rush passing yards. Sorry, lower 180.5, right?
Unless we want to get cute with a kicking prop.
Nah, let's just go lower. Cooper Rush, because him getting benched is definitely in the realm of possibilities.
Okay.
Do we want to add on a Dalton Schultz touchdown to this?
That feels cute.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, that feels a little cute.
Really?
Well, we've learned that the touchdown props are generally what do us in here.
All right.
And then every week I remind you of this. You're surprised because it's a touchdown angle that you like.
Yes.
And then you begrudgingly move on.
All right. So Cooper Rush, lower 180.5 passing yards.
Yes.
Joe Mixon, higher 16.3.5 fantasy points.
Now we're doing
fire on that. Get a nice 3x return. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Anything else you want to give out, Ryan?
Do you have any sort of a parlay you want? I have it's nothing crazy. Just something
I'm a degenerate.
Something I whipped up.
Okay. For me, it's very simple.
Okay. I'm listening.
Dalton Schultz has his revenge.
Okay.
Dalton Schultz 2 touchdowns.
Oh, wow. What's that price?
35-1. And with Houston minus 13.5, it's plus 57.16.
Okay.
Very simple. Okay, Jim.
All right, you ready for this one?
What do you got?
So this is a Joe Mixon. So Joe Mixon's even 2 touchdown price is ridiculous. So we got to spice it up a little bit. So Joe Mixon 2 touchdowns. Joe Mixon 100 yards. Still, that's not spicy enough. So we're going to throw in a little counter correlation. Joe Mixon to go under 2.5 receptions, something he's done most of the games this year. But then to go over 25 yards. So again, Joe Mixon 2 touchdowns, 100 rushing yards, 25 receiving yards, and under 2.5 catches, 113-1.
Oh my God!
Really gets spicy when you throw in the under 2.5 catches.
I like it. I always like a good reverse correlation. Hey, you know what else I like? The SGPN app. If you guys haven't downloaded it yet, what are you waiting for? It's free. It has all of our picks, the pick pages, all in one place, all the podcasts, all the articles, all in just one very convenient app, and it's free. Just type in SGPN in your app store. You can't miss it. And yeah, check it out. We're going to be doing some exclusive promos, merch promos for people who are on the app. And if you're listening to this, Merch Monday, use the promo code Monday for making an order on Monday, Victory Monday. If you cash or your team won, 15% off everything in the merch store. Promo code Monday. Highly recommend the Zip Up Sweatpants. Bunch of great stuff in there, so check that out. Good time to get the holiday order, or you know, your wife goes, "Oh, I don't know what to get you. Give me SGP hoodies, some sweats." Very easy. Very the stuff is top notch. Highly recommend it.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green. He's Ryan.
I would say the wife also endorses the sweatpants.
Kramer, let it ride.